Wow. Did you see that, Brother Khalil?
Yes, I most certainly did. It was amazing.
Ooh. So like I was saying before, mendacity makes the world go round. Politicians open their mouth. And that's the sound, you see?
Yeah.
And
you know, I was thinking when he was talking of some old lessons I heard a long time ago about politics.
mm-hmm.
And they said politics, poly means many. Many concise bloodsuckers. You know how the tick is on a dog and he starts out real small and he just sucks the blood of that animal. Cat, dog, whatever. Well, that symbol was also in politics. Politics, many concise bloodsuckers. The politician sucks the economical blood of a community, which mostly the black community. Let's not, hold no punches. Let's take the gloves off. And they just sucks the blood of these people and do whatever they want to do. But we're going to show them tonight how politics work and how people sit right in front of your face and tell a big fat lie. Real eyes recognize real lies.
Now, that was the man, if I'm not mistaken, that President Obama chose to be his running mate. This was in November 18th, 1993, that he stood up before the Senate and made these comments. Who was he talking about?
Good question.
You people.
Good question. You people.
And these people. We don't care how they got locked up or why they got locked up. All we know is they're locked up. We want to keep them locked up.
We don't care what zip code they came from, how poor they are, how much that we didn't allow them to eat. We want them locked up and the keys thrown away.
And that is the crime bill that's been in effect since shortly thereafter, signed into effect by then President Willie C. Clinton. Willie J. Clinton, excuse me. Yeah, Willie J. Clinton. Slick Little. The one that we love so much because we said that he was the first black president because he could play the saxophone.
Wow.
But he used sleight of hand. You know, he put that crime bill over. And some of our relatives are still doing time because of what he did.
Exactly.
And the justification for it, you see, if we are beasts as he depicted us to be, then who made us beasts? See, that's why they didn't want to talk. He didn't want to talk about why. Because anytime that you find a society where there are no good men, other no good men made them that way.
Yeah.
So we're just the products or the byproducts of what we've been through. But they don't ever want to mention that because they want to make it look like we were just born that way.
Well, what about if we let the family see the film and then we go back into some things and chop it up with them and they can see exactly what we're talking about so they know it's not no he said, she said.
Absolutely.
Show the film.
We must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's the sad truth. I'm the guy that said, rehabilitation, when it occurs, we don't understand it and notice it. And even when we notice it and we know it occurs, we don't know why. So you cannot make rehabilitation a condition for release. That's why in our system, there's the federal system, you serve 85% of your time. It's a shame, but we don't know how to rehabilitate. But there is a consensus, and I will cease. A, we must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malefactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. But we would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the condition that nurtured those folks still exist. And we must deal with that.
Yeah, family, if you notice in the film, when Mr. Joe Biden, he had said those born out of wedlock, thousands of them, they need to be locked up. Them. Who are them that he's talking about? Now let's fast forward. He said them. Now the same people he said to lock up and destroy at that time, now the survivors of those people, he's asking for the vote to vote him in as presidency. Come on, real eyes recognize real lies. You have to see this. You've seen the film, look at it again. Take your time. Believe what you see and what you hear from this man, and then realize what it really is. See, sometimes we in a strong level of denial. We want to deny what it really is. But don't be denied, and don't deny yourself of the reality of what this candidate said. What he said, he meant.
We tend to have short memories, all except for when it comes to our own. We take our people to task for everything that we may say or do, and we don't forgive one another. But here it is that we have political amnesia when it comes to the case of this man. Why? Because you love Joe Biden. Let's face it. Why do you love Biden? Because he gives you nothing. You see? Anybody that gives you nothing, you love him. You know, promises he makes, yeah, he'll make them. But remember, this is the same man who made these statements. Now, we're just trying to give you some information to go on, so when you go to the polls, right, in November, and if you have to vote for this man, we want you to have a full and complete record of the things that he's done. Now, can a person change? Of course a person can change. Has Mr. Biden changed? Well, we have to put him to the fire to see. But most of us are not willing to put these candidates to the fire because, remember, they get in and it's the same old beat. Whether it's the Republican elephant or the Democratic donkey, we get kicked in the behind by the donkey and trampled by the elephant. So it makes no difference. It says if Satan cast out Satan, right, who survives? You know, you got the devil in one hand and Lucifer in the other. So, you know, we just have to be very careful. The law of politics is what? Those who give, get. Quid
pro quo.
Once again, so we have to hold Mr. Biden's along with Mr. Bloomberg's feet to the iron.
let me compliment you on some things, or let me piggyback off of what I meant to say.
We Muslims, we don't piggyback.
With the Democratic,
we land you back.
with the Democratic Party,
Yes, sir.
they give us a symbol of a donkey.
Mm.
And excuse me, I want to make this PG for the children. Might have to bleep this out. Woo! He's a jackass. Let's take the gloves off and keep it real. For the Democratic Party, they gave us a jackass as a symbol. He's hard, he's stiff-necked, he's rebellious. You have to pull him to plow the feet. He won't, you kick him. You know what I mean? He just sits there, all in this funk and everything. They chose this for us, the Democratic Party. Who chose this symbol? And then for the Republicans, they chose a big old giant African elephant that runs things over and bulls through and don't take no stuff. Has a very strong memory. Who chose these things for each campaign? We want to know. Politics, many concise bloodsuckers. Just be careful. Your vote is your vote. All we're doing is giving information. But be careful with your vote and do your researches. Because once you vote somebody in, guess what? They work for you. You don't work for them. But once they're in, they make you think that you the law's hand and they the chosen one or the action figure or whatever. But once we vote them in family, they work for us. We vote them in, we can vote them out. We have to learn this game and learn the rules of this game and then play it like it should be played.
Excuse me. Speaking of which, you're very correct. Oh, excuse me. You're very correct, Brother Salam. We have indigestion. I'm sorry. We have to learn the electoral politics, or at least the way the game is played. You know, how can we send our own people to politics? These men were selected for us. If you don't have any money, you can't run. So you telling me that only the people that have money is fit to be in politics today? And what is the Electoral College? These are some of the topics that we hope to discuss in the future as the election winds down, so that we can have a more informed people, a more conformed populace, a more informed sisters and brothers who are doing voting, since we love to vote and say that voting is our way to freedom. Then should not we be educated? Should not we pick the best people? You see? Now, there are some of us that's under the opinion that it really doesn't matter who's in the White House. We're still going to continue to catch up. Why do we say that? Because in a democratic society, where capitalism is the law of the land, it indicates and dictates that somebody has to be on the bottom and somebody has to be on the top. So guess who's been named the permanent underclass? Brother Khalil, would you like to elaborate?
Well, you said it all, and I think enough has been said on this matter. I think it's time now for the family to ponder over all that we have said and try to inculcate this information into their mind, body, and soul, and then see what they come up with. Because all we're here is to provoke thought and give out this information. It's on you, family, to carry it out.
Listen to Vibe Radio 609, The Way Out.
The way out.